Ravens Vail is a dark fantasy horror anthology podcast that may contain explicit language and thematic elements not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Ravens Vail, a dark fantasy Southern Gothic horror anthology podcast set in the shadowy world of the Deep South. A convergent reality situated around what most of humanity has accepted as the truth. Obscured from human eyes, Ravens Vail is a mystical sanctuary intended to preserve the existence of its immortal inhabitants. The Macquarie, commonly referred to as witches, have been hunted since before written history. The witches of the Highlands fled persecution to a new land that would come to be known as Appalachia. In these parts, you should always be leery of the things that scare witches. The veil is thin tonight, family. Let's see what darkness lies beyond.
In a shadowy valley of Appalachia, where the veil between the worlds thins and whispers carry weight, Season 2 of Ravens Vail descends deeper into the ancestral marrow of the Macquarie. The blood moon rises, and with it, a reckoning long foretold. Sybil Ashford, marked by prophecy and haunted by lineage, must navigate a reality where memory is magic, and every spell cast echoes through time. As ancient forces stir, some divine, some monstrous, the covens gather. The dead speak, and the mountains remember. This season was not a journey, it was an inheritance. And in the dark, where firelight flickers and familiars purr, the question is no longer who Sybil is, but what she must become. Ravens Vail is a dark fantasy horror anthology podcast that may contain explicit language and thematic elements not suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. This episode contains major spoilers for Season 2. If you haven't experienced the full descent yet, pause here and go listen. Trust us, every twist, whisper, and revelation is worth it.
Welcome to Ravens Vail, and welcome to the season recap. I'm Jacob Garner, one of the co-hosts of the Cracked Cauldron, and I have the honor of hosting today's episode. Today, we're pulling back the curtain. No cliffhangers, no hauntings, just the voices behind the veil. We'll discuss our favorite moments, our theories, our predictions, and our hopes for the future of Ravens Vail. So grab your wands, and let's dive into the magical world of Ravens Vail. As the second season of the Ravens Vail podcast closes, we pause, not just to mark an ending, but to honor the winding path we've walked together. Let's take a breath and look back, not just at the stories we told, but at the community we've built in the telling.
Episode 1, Thistle's Keep, opens with a powerful convergence of faith, legacy, and moon-bound magic as Sybil recovers from a near-fatal wolf attack and receives her late mother's wand. Meanwhile, Palmer struggles with guilt and hope, and Reverend Uncle Theo reveals his dual nature as both a preacher and a Macquarie. The episode closes with Sybil's departure to Thistle's Keep in the Highlands, where her formal magical training will begin, setting the stage for a season of transformation, reckoning, and ancestral power.
In episode 2, Foreshadowed, Sybil arrives at Thistle's Keep, stepping into her protective embrace of Sunfire Hall. As she begins her training in sun magic under Jude's watchful eye, she meets Petra. In a haunting dream, Sybil and Petra face the demon Vrock Crossell and encounters an eerie entity, Seraphax. Nadira intervenes, reaffirming Sybil's destiny as the Way. The morning brings a bittersweet farewell to Palmer, marking the true beginning of Sybil's journey towards prophecy, power, and peril.
In episode 3, Umbra, Sybil's training in sun magic deepens, revealing both her raw talent and her struggle to master the elemental fury of the sun ascension. As she bonds with Petra, their friendship reaches a tender milestone when Petra confides his truth, and Sybil responds with unwavering love and acceptance. The episode closes with Sybil forming a sacred bond with a mysterious kitten named Umbra.
In Episode 4, Immortal, the stakes rise as Sybil's magical bond with Umbra deepens, revealing a hint of divine origin. Jude returns from a journey into the void, burdened with revelations about ancients and the Covenant, and proposes a locust spell to protect Sybil and Petra. Tensions erupt with the arrival of Astrid Vandenberg, whose venomous disdain for Petra prompts Sybil to fiercely defend her chosen family. As protective wards are cast across Thistle's Keep, a chilling encounter with the Nyx forces Sybil to unleash a barrage of blue fire and lightning to save Petra. The episode closes with Sybil's power reaffirmed, her bond with Umbra sanctified, and a looming threat casting long shadows over the path ahead.
In Episode 5, Sins of the Father, the veil between the living and the dead thins as Samhain approaches, threatening to unleash a torrent of restless spirits and ancient forces upon the world. Leora Alden, a gifted moonborn Makori, haunted by her father's dark legacy, faces a terrifying reckoning when a possessed scarecrow breaches the veil and nearly kills her. As Gunther and Delilah scramble to contain the supernatural fallout, the Makori community is thrust into a desperate vigil to preserve the balance between life and death. Leora's final breath, "It came through the veil," echoes as a chilling warning for what lies ahead.
In Episode 6, The Nyx, tensions erupt at Sunfire Hall with the arrival of Astrid Vandenberg, whose venomous disdain for Petra prompts Sybil to fiercely defend her chosen family. As protective wards are cast across Thistle's Keep, the true reckoning unfolds as Petra, Sybil, and Aunt Ruby B confront a Nyx, an ancient creature of pure shadow. Aunt Ruby B joins the fight, and together they vanquish the creature, affirming Sybil's growing power and her sacred bond with Umbra.
In Episode 7, The Human Monster, Sybil and Petra recover from the harrowing battle with the Nyx, only to be thrust into deeper revelations about the origins of Rock Corcel and the terrifying legacy of Godfrey Allistone. Jude recounts the chilling history of the horrors of Corcel's throne and the ancient betrayal that set the stage for Sybil's destiny. As Sybil wrestles with her role as the Way, a violent attack on Palmer by a mysterious creature hints that the demon's reach is growing.
In Episode 8, Jack of the Frost, our Christmas special, the ancient being known as Frost, later named Jack of the Frost, emerges from legend to haunt the snowy corners of Appalachia. Through a haunting tale told by the narrator, we learn of Frost's bitter resentment towards humanity and the Makori, and his twisted longing for connection. The episode centers on Sarah Fletcher, a young woman whose poorly timed rendezvous leads to a harrowing encounter with Jack and a gruesome discovery of her beloved Hayden's frozen corpse. As Sarah's family falls victim to Frost's wrath, the story unfolds like a dark folk tale culminating in a quiet act of mercy from St. Nick himself. It's a Southern Gothic Christmas story wrapped in sorrow, myth, and the icy grips of forgotten gods.
In Episode 9, The Ascension, Aunt Ruby B steps into her destiny as High Priestess of the Makori Temple. Amid the haunting aftermath of the battle and Palmer's lingering coma, the covens gather to crown a new leader. A visitation from Sybil's mother, Mary, whose gifts of memory and witch tongue reshape Sybil's path. As the ritual concludes, a surge of magic ripples across the supernatural world, announcing the rise of a new High Priestess and sealing Ravens Vail's fate for the battles yet to come. The episode becomes a lesson of grief, legacy, and the quiet strength required to lead when the veil thins and the world waits.
In Episode 10, Shadow Sleep, Sybil is pushed to her breaking point as nightmares twist her mother's voice into cruel accusations, and Palmer remains trapped in a magical stupor that defies healing. When an entity stalks the temple, Sybil unleashes a barrage of advanced spells, some she didn't even know she knew, driven by her mother's memories. In a quiet moment of truth, Sybil, through her mother's gifts, explains her sudden mastery of magic.
In Episode 11, Sacrificial, the stakes rise as Sybil and Petra face down death, darkness, and the raw edge of mountain magic. After a brutal encounter leaves Petra near lifeless in the rain-soaked woods, Sybil calls on ancestral spells and blood-bound courage to shield them both from a lurking horror. Their journey leads them to a mysterious, peculiar Aunt Helen, whose eerie gifts and haunted wisdom reveal deeper truths. As the final act of heartbreaking grace, This episode binds the season's theme, grief, legacy, and defiance, into a single unforgettable reckoning.
What a season! It's been twisting roads, hushed reckonings, and echoes that won't fade when the credits do. Today, we're tracing the choices that carve the story's path, the tensions just beneath the surface, and the haunting images that lingered long after the final scene. I'm joined in the studio by the people whose voices bring the characters and this story to life, the cast and crew of the Ravens Vail Podcast. They are ready to dig deep, answer the questions that kept you up at night, and share what this season meant to them. Joining us in the studio is Jeryd Bolden-Greer, the architect of our narrative, the mind behind the mythos, and the unmistakable voice of Lucian Ashford himself. Writer, creator, director, and my co-host on the Cracked Cauldron, and the soul that ties it all together. Welcome, Ed.
Hey, guys.
Jeryd Bolden-Greer is the executive producer, musician, and the vocal embodiment of chaos itself. Yep. He's the thunder behind the mic, summoning the guttural wraith of Rock Crocell, screeching and gloriously unhinged. And just when you think you've escaped the abyss, he reemerges as Jeryd Bolden-Greer, our kilt-clad Highlander with a drawl sharp enough to slice through the fog. Whether he's growling from the depths or charming you with Celtic swagger, Jeryd doesn't just perform, he possesses. Welcome, Jeryd.
It's a me.
Kristen Newby, the creative force behind Sybil Ashford, the fierce and unyielding witch who anchors the Ravens Vail universe with grit, grace, and a little Appalachian fire. Through Kristen's storytelling, Sybil becomes more than a character. She's a reckoning, a voice of resistance and resilience that refuses to be silenced, carrying ancestral echoes and emotional truth through every haunted corridor of the Vail. Welcome, Kristen.
What's up, my guy?
Bringing Aunt Ruby B. Atworth to life with a voice that's equal parts velvet hem and cast iron skillet. She's sugar-dipped sass and sanctified grit, a beloved tempest of tenderness who'll pray for your soul 1 minute and read you for filth the next. Lena Perkins.
Howdy, yuns.
This young lady didn't just join the Ravens Vail cast. She sauntered in like she's been haunting the place for years. Voicing Astrid Vandenberg with a velvet growl and razor wit, she didn't borrow the role, she claimed it. Astrid is hers now, and trust us, she's not giving her back. Welcome, Veronica Williams.
Hey, y'all.
With charm, sass, and a wink that could stop traffic, as Sybil Ashford's ride or die, Petra is equal parts Southern spice and tender soul. Drop-dead gorgeous, a little bashful when the moment calls, but never without a quip or a craving for mischief. Whether he's swooning over the local heartthrobs or whipping up a feast that tastes like home and rebellion, Petra is always game for the next wild turn. Welcome, Presley King.
Hey.
As the newest cast member promptly throws herself into the chaos as the voice of Helen, unhinged, unpredictable, and utterly unforgettable. Helen didn't just make an entrance, she made an exit. 1 episode in, and she's already croaked. Kenaida Mills-Ryder, welcome to Ravens Vail.
Hi, guys.
The magical architect behind our signature sound design, a true genius whose artistry transforms every whisper, echo, and crescendo into immersive storytelling. His ear for atmosphere and emotional nuance is unmatched, and his work gives Ravens Vail its haunting heartbeat. He doesn't just mix audio, he conjures the entire Ravens Vail world. The man who makes us all sound like magic, Nick DeVan.
Hey, everybody.
So sit back, relax, and get ready for an exciting deep dive into the world of Ravens Vail you've come to love. Let's get started. I'm going to be asking you guys a series of questions that the staff and listeners have come up with to get to know you guys a little bit better. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The first question will be a round robin where we will hear from everyone. So guys, what was your favorite episode and why? Let's start with you, Ed.
I think the last episode was my favorite. I think that it was just so emotional. And when I was writing it, it was therapeutic for me. It got a bunch of the things that I was going through over the death of my mom out and let me put it on paper.
Yeah, I think the episode ended up fantastic.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeryd?
Probably the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, picking the episode that I wrote is probably not the best. I mean, I helped with the Halloween episode too, but
Poor form.
yeah,
Character though.
yeah, it was just so good. To be honest, I just really enjoyed both how horrifying it was and the moment at the end. Ed and I cry. We've listened to that episode several dozen times, and the scene at the end with Saint Nick, I literally cry listening to myself talk, and that sounds so pretentious, but it is really it's really heart-wrenching.
I agree with you, man. I actually recommend that episode to people when they're like, hey, what's this podcast about? I think it showcases the great sound design, the great voice acting, the whole nine.
Absolutely.
What about you, Kristen?
I'm going to try to sum this up. I can't really pick one episode. I have to talk more on moments. Everything from, the please let me keep this cat because it's so precious.
That was really my favorite scene.
Really?
Not my favorite episode.
I mean, all the way to Miss Vandenberg. Watch that mouth. I mean, it's so hard, especially this season. There's been so much. To pick just one episode, I can't really narrow it down.
I understand, but what about you, Lena? What was your favorite episode?
Well, like everybody's already said, I like all of them, but I really enjoyed episode 3 because, we got to see a friendship blossom. And of course, Umbra, who doesn't like a cute little cat that has superpowers,
Jacob doesn't like cute little cats.
No, I don't. No.
He likes them from afar where he doesn't have to touch them.
Or take care of them.
And what about you, Presley?
Thank you, Jacob. I would have to agree with Lena. I think my favorite episode is episode 3, only because that's something like the the coming out of the closet really relatable, and I think that it just demonstrates the relationship between Petra and Sybil, and I think that was the real beginning of Petra kind of like coming into his own.
Yeah.
So that'd be my answer.
That's true.
I definitely feel like everybody on the cast has been doing wonderful, but this season really, really shows your progression with your character, Petra, and I think you've been knocking it out of the park.
Thank you.
What about you, Veronica?
Can we just call me V?
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
The Ascension is probably my favorite. The moment where Mary visits Sybil is kind of personal to me. A lot of you don't know I lost my mom at an early age, so that whole scene, I almost didn't make it through it. I don't think anybody knew, but I almost didn't make it through it. And the last episode was really interesting, knowing Kristen personally and and seeing Sybil grow, like to see her actually come out of her shell in the last episode.
Oh my God, yeah.
It was amazing.
I'm exhausted.
And last but not least, Kenaida, what about you?
My favorite episode is, I think it's number 3 at Umbra. I love to see the friendship grow, but also when Umbra finds Sybil, that is like my favorite part because I'm an animal lover. And so like anytime animals find their human, it's just so cute. So that's mainly why, is because of course animals.
Of course.
A whole new meeting to cat distribution system on that episode, and I just love it.
I just want a cat to help me wash
Pretty
dishes.
sure I just need to start writing Umbra into every episode.
We need to have a spin-off show with just her.
Just Umbra.
Yes, Adventures of Umbra.
Jacob,
Alrighty.
I've got some news for you.
Yeah, what's up?
Umbra's taking your place as host.
Damn it, dude. The next few questions are for Ed. So, Ed, what big event should we look forward to in season 3?
Well, that's a great question that I'm not going to answer. Because we're not going to have that kind of spoiler today. I will tell you that the grief theme runs through the first part of next season, and then it's going to get a little happier at Ravens Vail.
There we go. All right. I was wondering, too, how do you balance Appalachian authenticity with the mystical and the macabre? Like, especially when crafting folklore that feels both invented and kind of like inherited.
It's not as difficult as it sounds. I'm going to say the way I do it is I really think back to some of the dark woods places that I went as a child.
Yeah.
That I just felt stuff there. Like it was just like, I think it's just inherent to the Appalachian Mountains, especially in the Great Smoky Mountains. Mm-hmm. That sense of magic and mystery is there. and we still have to go to the Brown Mountain Lights.
Yeah, we do, actually.
Field trip.
Will we see more magic in the next season?
Absolutely. We're going to see more magic. We're also going to see more spells and more of the outcome of the stuff. I'm going to just say it, stuff that Sybil has absorbed.
Nice.
I mean, just from a consequence standpoint, at this point, Sybil's got 2 out of the 3 major ascensions marked off between inheriting her mom's memories and the training at Sunfire. So, like, she's farther along in the journey than people are probably thinking she is at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question is a round robin question. Y'all ready?
Yep.
How do you personally connect with your character's fears, desires, or secrets? And I'll start with Ed.
Well, as everybody on the cast knows, I have to say, well, hey there, family, before I can get in character at all. I don't know why that one line has hooked into Lucian's personality.
Mm-hmm.
I also have to remember that Lucian has lived for a long time, and he's lived in the Appalachian Mountains. And here's a spoiler. Most people don't know that in the Convergence, the very first episode, Lucian's the one telling the story.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. It's pretty cool. Jeryd, what about you, man?
I make lots of screeching noises just constantly, and so I just tune into those
all day,
the time.
Every day.
Yeah. For Jude's part, I have to literally say "world" and "guttural" over and over again until I find the right mouth shape, because it's a lot.
Miss Sybil, what about you?
This is, to me, such a loaded question because this character's been through so much already. I mean, you think about in the beginning, I know one of the last recaps we talked about, we kind of joked about the fact that, I hope next season Sybil, just gets out of bed.
Just stays conscious.
And to see her go from just all these different points of struggle, it resonates with me more than I saw coming, which has been, those first script reads can be hard sometimes. I've been through plenty of things, including a lot of chronic illness stuff, and just she's not taking it lying down this season, and
No,
she's
not.
really, so tapping into that and kind of having that fear, but also trying to remember to steel myself has been.
And I'm just going to say, you have, from last season to this season, wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Miss Lena, what about you?
Well, I like to use my imagination, but I think Aunt Ruby Bee and I have a lot in common as far as our tender heart, and we're emotional beings. But her being a middle child, I like to, I'm an oldest child, but I've seen lots of middle children in my life and know the struggles that they have. So, and how they actually it's a thing to be a middle child, and I've not experienced that. So imagining what that's like, and, seeing the middle children that I've known throughout my life, kind of overcome that, because you're not the oldest, you're not the youngest. It's a thing.
It really
so
is,
just
yeah.
putting myself in her place, and just, I like to use my imagination and just connect with her.
What about you, King?
Well, I think that for me,
He doesn't have to do a whole lot of acting.
I really don't, but I do tap into this, I don't know, growing up queer and still, actively being queer.
They didn't.
The camps didn't
It
help
never stopped. It never stopped. But there's something that feels good to be able to represent that here in the story and with my voice. I think that we all kind of want to be accepted, and we may have found ourselves not feeling that way. So through the story of, Petra finding his chosen family, it's something that I can relate to. I think that in life we all kind of get to we don't get to choose where we start, but we get to decide where we go.
Absolutely.
I feel that, man. Yeah. Miss V.
Well, guys, Astrid can be calculated but a bit blunt, and that's my life story. So it's where that's about it. Me and Astrid on that, we connect on that. We can be heifers when we need to be, but we get things done.
And Kenaida, what about you?
Well, there wasn't really much of me because I jumped off a cliff. But like just how she is with the crows, like I was able to relate to that because when she had the 2 crows, I have 2 dogs. So I was like, okay, this is how they would, and a pet squirrel. So like this is how they would like greet when people come over to like the area. Like I could also relate to like the secludedness because like I am a family member that just is secluded myself. So like I can completely understand her craziness, like the way that she goes a little crazy because of the way she's secluded, and just
you also had that little thing that you did. What was the saying to get into character?
Oh, the Dale Dimmadome, home the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
And as her sister, I can tell you, she is a bit insane in real life. It's not a joke.
And I will say that almost like 5 times a day, every hour. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But that's mainly it. Like I just got in character by just repeating that and understanding that, hey, seclusion makes you a little crazy and jump off the cliff sometimes.
Don't jump off the cliff, kids.
Yeah,
don't jump off the cliff.
At Ravensville, we don't condone cliff jumps.
Don't.
Hey, Miss Lena, how do you think Ruby B will handle the new loss of her sister, and what impact will it have on her?
I think Aunt Ruby B really kind of beats herself up about things. So I feel like she's really going to kind of beat herself up at first. Like, why didn't I try harder to be part of her life? Why wasn't I there? Just she's going to ask herself all those questions. But ultimately, she's going to turn that into power because, like, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for Varrock Crosell. So that's just going to deepen her purpose in making sure that he's fully destroyed.
Yeah, I think you're right. How do you think Ruby B is handling being the high priestess of the McCory?
She is very emotional, but also level-headed. So, and she definitely takes this very seriously. So I think she's doing all the things, and that's why, she's going to beat herself up over Helen, but she's also going to move forward. So I think she's very balanced and level-headed and all the things she needs to be.
All right. Presley. Do you think Petra will have any love interests in the near future? Ooh. And what will that person be like?
Ooh.
This is a
you know what? I'm hopeful. Fingers crossed. I think that would be really cool. And what would that person be like? Probably very handsome.
Oh, yeah. The best quality trait. The best personality. Handsome.
No
This is a spoiler. If there needs to be a handsome character, Ed, write me in, bro. I'm waiting for it.
I've already got an actor for that character. And let me say, maybe a spoiler. It's not quite been decided yet, but that person might not be magical.
Oh, man.
Freaking normal.
Yeah,
oh
a
my
normie.
God.
Freaking normies.
All right, I have a question for you, Kristen. How does it feel to be emerging as a sassy badass?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I want to be her when I grow up. It's been so fun. Honestly, I feel like that growth and that switch has just been so exciting to explore. It's been interesting in the sound booth, but yeah, I really do want to be her when I grow up. Like, let me learn these lessons in my real life.
You promised me we would never grow up.
Fair.
And here's another question for you, Kristen. How do you think Sybil is going to handle having so many memories she's never experienced?
I mean, wow.
Poorly.
At first.
If the first season tells us anything about her levels of confusion at times, I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's going to take a minute. But again, hopefully she'll recover.
we saw a smidge of it in the end of that last episode where she's kind of like, oh, what the hell is happening to me? Oh, okay, so this is mom's memories sort of situation, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
You're welcome, dear.
I can promise that it's going to get worse.
I mean, just the weight of it all, right? And then
Yep.
then the extra layer of confusion. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, you're looking at your aunt, and you've really only known her for like, I don't know, maybe a year and change in story now, and you now have a lifetime of memories from growing up with her.
And then she's gone.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
5 minutes later.
That's a huge emotional roller coaster in such a short period of time.
Seriously.
The next question is for Ed and Jeryd.
All right.
I know we've kind of been teasing a few of them, but are there any spoilers for the upcoming Halloween episode?
There's going to be a giant purple dragon.
Nice.
We're going to have at least 2 30-foot tall skeletons.
Oh, shut up,
Hold
shut
on. You can't take this away from me. There's going to be 2 30-foot tall skeletons, which is 6 times the amount of 10-foot skeletons I've been required to put on our house, so it's going to buy me a couple of years.
Oh, so we can ride them into the story. We just can't have them in the yard.
And
That is correct. I don't have to put them away in the story.
And Jacob,
Yeah.
none of that's true.
Oh,
He just wanted to make fun of you about the skeletons.
that's fair. That's fair. This question is for Jeryd. Does Jude think Sybil is ready to move on to the next ascension?
Jude definitely believes that. However, consequently, he is also probably not ready to tell anybody that, because that means he's not going to have people around.
Yeah. I got a follow-up question for you. Your character had a pretty emotional reaction to the idea of being left alone at Sunfire Hall when Petra leaves. What was that all about?
Yeah, so, and this part isn't really out in the rest of the story yet, but, like, Jude's also gay, and his lifelong unrequited love was with Palmer. And so now Palmer's dying. He's been left alone in Scotland for a long-ass time already. They've just been best friends, like, deeply healthy platonic relationship, but, like...
Well, mostly platonic.
Okay. Regardless of how platonic it was the whole time, it is right now, and has been since Mary was in the picture. And so having his own, like, son to raise for a period of time was, like, a really important moment for him. And he's now, like, super feeling isolated because his best friend of 300 or 400 years is dead. 600 years is dying. His adoptive son and his somewhat adoptive niece are now also leaving. So he's like, he is not going to handle the next beginning of the season. His grieving process is also probably going to be a big part of the next season, I imagine.
His empty nest is being real empty.
There isn't a single human that can listen to this and not have, like, every heartstring just like, wow.
So will Sybil have that memory since Mary was around? She got Mary's memories.
Mary didn't probably know.
Okay, all right. I was just wondering.
This next question is for you, Nick. What is your favorite part of the sound design process for Ravens Vail?
I think, as we record it, it's often out of order, and, we'll have screams and effects all over the place. And then Jean-Marc and I go through and put it all in order first and fix all the dialogue. And just hearing it in that form is really fun because all of a sudden you've got an episode, just having the dialogue and then, adding the music and whatnot is sort of the cherry on top, the icing on top, because you've already got the dialogue, you got the story. So I guess it's just the, going from an out of order, piecemealed thing into a completed thing that you can listen to, and it's a good story.
And you are fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
The
you.
best.
Appreciate
By
it.
the way, he has the best giggle of the whole crew. It's the cutest thing ever.
Okay, Miss V, I have a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Is Astrid really a bad guy?
I mean, think about all the stories. Are any of the villains really villains? Or are they really the heroes? I mean,
She's not a hero.
Or just misunderstood.
perspective, absolutely. Misunderstood. Because what made me this way?
Me.
Exactly. What did I have to go through to get here? So, perspective, guys. She's a heifer sometimes. It's a little wenchish, but you know.
Well, I got a follow-up question for you, V. Your character is so different from who you really are as a person. So how do you handle all the challenges she creates?
So in the sense that she's a little homophobic and a little racist, if you guys don't know, I probably would not fit into that category. That'll be a later conversation. But she gets things done in a very unconventional way, which sometimes is necessary. You know, you just roll with the punches. And so I just roll with her sometimes. Even though I don't always agree, we get shit done. Can we cuss on this?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you have it, guys.
You should listen to the Cracked Cauldron.
Actually, they actually should listen to it because I'm on there too.
And finally, Kenaida, I'm not going to put you on the spot too much, but here's your question. What's it like being the new kid on the block?
Yeah, sis.
Tell us what it's like.
Yeah, we're all
How you
staring at
feeling?
you. Go ahead and...
I really like it. It was nerve-wracking at first because, like, speaking is just nervousness a lot. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. But it was actually pretty fun. I learned a lot listening to the podcast. I really enjoyed it. Just the images that I have in my head, it's very detailed. Like, it's very good. I don't read. I listen to books, so this was perfect.
Don't tell people that.
Hey.
Live on
I
air.
can't read.
Actually, we can't read.
still count.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
yeah, they do.
Words.
But
So, oh, sorry.
no, I'm not going to speak no more.
Jesus. Last question is for anyone, okay? Since Aunt Ruby B is now the high priestess, where is the right Reverend Theo?
You know, I would like to know.
Don't act like you don't have him tied up in the bedroom.
Well, you know.
God.
The priestess needs the release.
Exactly.
It's always the quiet one.
It's always the
Always
quiet
the
one.
quiet one. Well, family, that brings us to the end of our cast questions segment. A huge thank you for allowing me to host this special episode. Thanks to our amazing cast for their insightful answers and for bringing our beloved characters to life. And, by the way, you can catch Ed and I over on the Cracked Cauldron podcast, our bi-monthly talk show. So don't be a stranger. To finish our episode, I thought it might be nice to let the cast say a few words. So that's it for me. This episode, take it away, gang.
While this may be the end of our current season, it's also the beginning of something new. But don't worry, this isn't goodbye. It's with immense joy that I have the honor of sharing the news. Thanks to your incredible feedback and unwavering support, Small Raven Media has officially greenlit another season of the Ravens Vail Podcast. We'll be back in October with an even more captivating storyline, unforgettable characters, and moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat.
As season 2 of Ravens Vail Podcast closes, I'm filled with bittersweet blend of reflection and gratitude. Together, we've shared laughter, shed tears, uncovered truths, each moment shaping the path we walk. Your unwavering passion and thoughtful feedback have not only elevated our storytelling, but also reminded us why this world matters. Every episode has been a spellbound passage, and your presence has been the lantern guiding us through. Thank you for walking beside us.
Before we turn the page, I want to pause and offer our heartfelt thanks to each of you. Your devotion to the world of Ravensville has been our compass, steady, fierce, and full of wonder. Because of you, we've dared to explore the shadows of the Macquarie and discover flickers of hope where none should have bloomed. We've watched characters unravel and rebuild, seen bonds bend and break, and followed storylines into places that even we couldn't have foreseen. You all have made this world feel alive.
As we gently close this chapter in the world of Ravens Vail, I want to pause and speak directly from the heart. Thank you. Your support, your passion, your thoughtful engagement, and your love for this story have been the lifeblood of every episode. You've made this journey not only possible, but profoundly meaningful. Because of you, we've dared to dream deeper, write bolder, and listen more closely to the pulse of this world we've built together. It's been an extraordinary adventure, and your presence has made it unforgettable.
As we close this chapter of Ravens Vail, our hearts are full. To every listener who walked these haunted mountains with us, thank you. Your curiosity, your messages, your quiet moments spent with our world have meant more than words can say. Because of you, this story lives and breathes. We've been crafting something special. New storylines, haunting revelations, and moments that will pull you even further into the world we've built together. There's exciting content on the horizon, and I can't wait to dive into it with you. So stay tuned, keep your lanterns lit, and let the echoes of Ravens Vail guide you toward what's next.
Well, alrighty, family. There you have it, a full recap of the season. We hope you've enjoyed this little extra peek into the world of Ravens Vail. As always, I want to thank you for being a part of the Ravens Vail family. We've had a few bumps during the season, but we're back on track. We've also had some immensely wonderful moments. During this season, we were able to go out to several cons and meet y'all face to face. And we moved into a bigger and better production office. Our story will continue this October with our Halloween episode. And we can't wait to see what you guys think. Until next time, take care and keep the magic alive. If you all like what you've heard this season, be sure to tune in for our next episode. We'll be back on October 15th with Season 3. And trust us, Sybil's got secrets simmering that are bound to boil over. Now, family, you adults have a few chores to do. Go on over to ravensvail.com and see about doing your chores on social media. Follow us on all the social media platforms that we've made available just for you folks. Like, listen, subscribe, and follow wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you don't mind, leave us a good rating and a kind comment. You can find the Ravens Vail Podcast on your favorite podcast platform by searching for Ravens Vail Podcast. And again, make sure you hit the follow button to stay up to date with our latest episodes. So until next time, family, see you soon!
The Ravens Vail Podcast is a production of Small Raven Media. Directed by Ed Bolden-Greer and produced by Jeryd Bolden-Greer. Today's recap was hosted by Jacob Garner. Portraying themselves, we had Kristen Newby, Presley King, Veronica Williams, Ed Bolden-Greer, Lena Perkins, Jeryd Bolden-Greer, and Kenaida Mills-Ryder. Audio engineering and sound design are massively imagined by Nick Devan at Nicky D Sound. Copyrighted 2025 Small Raven Media. All rights reserved.